Again, if you don't know me, my name is Alicia. I'm the national speaker here at BombBomb. Today, we are going to talk all about gear, and I am going to be joined by Matt Mead.
Hey.
Matt is our visual storyteller and definitely our resident in-house gear expert. So we're definitely going to talk about gear, talk about some things you can use at home, answer all of your questions. I'm also joined today by Michelle and Alexa. They're hanging out in chat. They're going to help moderate chat and answer some of those questions. Just so you know, they will answer some of the questions as we move through the webinar, as well as they will leave some of those for us at the end, and we're definitely going to take some Q&A time. All right, people are still rolling in, so we're just going to hang out for another minute or so. Let's see who we got in here. 313. I don't know what area code that is, Ted. Anyone know what a 313 is? Where? Love it. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and just jump in and get started. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us today while we talk about gear. And in a couple minutes, I'm going to kind of just hand it over to Matt so he can kind of talk through some of the various setups. But before we do that, I want to make sure that this is what you keep up in your mind as we move through the content and talk about gear today. And that is, one of the best things about BombBomb is that you don't need a bunch of external gear, right? Like, Matt, the gear that you're going to show can help and enhance, but I mean, you and I probably do just as much video with the tools in front of us on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hop on Zoom meetings. Most of my Zoom meetings, I just hop on with, you know, the built-in webcam, built-in microphone, and it works. Most of like the BombBomb videos I shoot, I'm just doing on my phone or on my MacBook. That's all you need.
Yeah, yeah, it's
maybe,
true. And
maybe
I
this,
always
a lighting's
a light,
important,
yeah. And we'll get into some of those specifics, but I always want to make sure that you guys do not use the gear as an obstacle to recording videos. And that's my best advice to keep at the front of your mind as we start to move through and talk about this gear. If you have had a BombBomb account and you're not recording as many videos as you would like because you feel like that the gear is keeping you back, do not feel like you need to go buy gear before you start recording videos. You can just start recording videos with the tools that you have in front of you. So I'm going to launch a quick poll just to kind of get an idea of where you guys are at. So the poll is, how are you currently recording your videos? So take a quick second and just answer for us so that we know where you're at. The first option is, I just use the tools I have, phone and webcam. The second one is, I've been dabbling with new gear, excited to hear from the expert. And then the third option, I need a better setup before I'll feel completely comfortable with video. And we'll definitely talk about that today. So you guys are awesome. You guys are answering the poll question fast today. You guys are on it. I love it. All right, we are at 70% voted. So thank you guys. That was fast. Usually it takes a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll so that you guys can see those results. It looks like the overwhelming majority, 74%, are just using the tools that they already have, phone and webcam. Awesome. We're going to show you some additions today that might just kind of up that video game a little bit. We've got 17%, I've been dabbling with new gear, and then that 9%, I understand there's some small little things you can do, even especially just with lighting, to really make yourself feel comfortable. So with that, Matt, why don't you kick us off and start with cameras, because that is definitely, obviously, an important piece of the video element.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we live in a time where all of our computers or phones have built-in cameras, which is nice, and that's all you need. Right now, I'm actually using the Logitech C920, which is one that most of the employees at BombBomb use. It's one that we recommend to a lot of our customers. And I can actually, here, I'll switch to my built-in camera so I can show you what the Logitech looks like. So this is it. I'm sure you've seen it before. This is the C920. I think it's probably the most popular webcam in the world, and it deserves to be that webcam because it does a great job. And as you can see, just from switching from that to my built-in camera, you can see, you know, it doesn't, my built-in MacBook camera doesn't do quite as well with the shadows. I'm a little bit darker. Fortunately, I still have a window right in front of me, so there's plenty of light. But you can also tell like the frame rate's a little slower because what the built-in camera is doing is it's extending the shutter speed so it can bring in more light to compensate. I have the shades closed now because otherwise I'm like blinded from my window.
Yeah.
But the Logitech doesn't need to do that. I'll switch back. You'll see it's a higher frame rate and a lot brighter. So yeah, highly recommend the Logitech C920. There's also Logitech has a lot of great, they have a, you know, extensive line of webcams and they're all really good. The Logitech C920 has been around for several years now. It's the most popular. There's the C920S, which is basically identical. I think the only difference is that it actually has a cover that you can open and close, which is kind of nice just for that extra privacy. If you're, you know, hopping on a Zoom meeting or something, or, you know, a video conference, you don't have to worry about the video starting before you're ready. You can manually open it, which is nice. And they're all about, I think Logitech lists the C920 at $80 on their website. But last I looked, they're out of stock. You can still find it on Amazon. I think it's a little more expensive, or a lot more expensive. You'll find people selling them for like $300, just because they're really in demand right now. But yeah, we definitely recommend the Logitech webcams.
Yeah, I love the Logitech. For a long time, I was just using the built-in one on my Mac because it's a pretty good camera, right? Like my built-in camera on my MacBook is great. However, once I plugged my Logitech back in and saw the difference, I was like, oh yeah, I feel like it shines a little or opens up a little more light. I don't know what the correct term for that is. And I like that it auto corrects for light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I just need to adjust my position a little bit and then it'll like correct the light and autofocus. But the autofocus thing sometimes frustrates me if I move too much in a video. So does all of the Logitech cameras do that? Do you know, or?
Yeah, they definitely have superior autofocus and exposure. And it's all automatic. Like you can see how it'll like adjust the exposure to my hand and stuff. And it does a great job with that, with the auto exposure and the autofocus. And you're right, it does. It's bringing in, it's a bigger sensor and it's a bigger lens, so it's bringing in more light. So it doesn't have to compensate. Here, I'll switch back real quick. You'll see my built-in camera. It has to slow down the front frame rate, so you get, you lose quality when there's not enough light because the built-in camera is struggling to figure out what to do to bring in enough light to make your face visible.
Got it.
So yeah, Logitech's, you won't have any problems with that, especially with the C920.
Nice. So I am not a glasses wearer, and we've seen a lot of questions roll up in chat about the glare on your glasses, and if there is a way.
I can switch here. I just got these glasses because they're less scratched up, but I think is that better? This is my.
Yeah, I think the main thing that people are curious about is there a way to position their lights better, or a better way to do this so that when they are recording videos, they don't get the glare on their glasses? Because this is something that I've never had to really worry about before.
Yeah, well, yeah, I totally shut my blinds, but I'm still getting that glare. Yeah, one thing you can do is position your computer so that it's not like completely in front of the window. And I can like reposition like this. It's still pretty bright.
Yeah.
It's good. I usually recommend to have a window, in front of you if it's not direct light. So that's why I closed the blinds. So I'm not getting that direct, I'm not being like blinded by it. But glasses can be tricky. Even if you have a lamp, you'll still get a little bit of glare. That's just part of wearing glasses.
Yeah.
But what you could do is find a room without a window. Just make sure there's not a window behind you or anything, and then just
Yeah.
use a lamp slightly to the
Yeah.
side, and there should be a little less glare.
Yeah.
But it's
I
always going to
also,
happen whenever you wear glasses.
yeah, I find that also, because a lot of times, like the glare that you're getting is directly from the screen. And I think sometimes the mobile app actually can help with that because you have less of a surface that's actually like reflecting back onto those glasses. Oh, someone in chat said the mobile app helps. So that is something that you guys can think about, you glasses wearers, if you feel really frustrated by that reflection. You can definitely record them on the mobile app and they'll end up in your BombBomb account for you to come back to anyway. Okay, so one thing that I do want to mention on cameras before we roll on to mics is where to look when you are recording. One of the things that we know people struggle with is that eye line. And the best thing you can do is just look right into that little pinhole camera. And you might not think that it makes a big difference of where your eye line is, but it does. And I'm going to show you. So now I'm looking at myself instead of directly into the camera. It's not a huge difference, but it's enough that it can be distracting for your recipient. So regardless of what camera you're using, whether it's your mobile or your built-in or that Logitech, you want to just look right into that lens and speak directly to that little circle just as if they're a human being. Anything else you want to say on cameras, Matt?
I think that's it for as far as the webcams. We can talk about lighting though some more if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about lighting. I feel like lighting is one of those things that you should focus your attention on first. Like use the tools that you already have, but figure out the lighting piece. Because I know personally for me, just that lighting makes a huge difference in how I feel about how the video looks and how I look. And, you know, I have pretty good lighting in here, so I don't have a desk lamp like I normally do. But sometimes I'll even show people just the difference between that, the turn off and the turn on, because the lighting itself makes such a huge difference with the way the video looks.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we recommend, you know, having a window or a light or a lamp in front of you, preferably diffused light. So it's not like a direct window where the sun's just blasting you with light, because you might end up just being completely blown out. Your webcam won't be able to adjust to that amount of, you know, brightness. So that's why I close the blinds, so I'm not completely blown out. But if you don't have a window, I mean, that's where these clip-on lamps come in handy. This is, you can find these for like 20 bucks on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. And you just clip it on. You can see it's got a clip on. So you just clip it onto your desk. And one should be enough. If you really, I really don't need any additional light right now. But if you want to, you can get two, and this might help with the glare too. If you have two lamps positioned at each corner of your desk, you're not getting that direct glare on your glasses. So it shouldn't be as bad if you have them positioned a little bit to the side. If you only have one lamp, you might want it a little more central so you don't get harsh shadows coming across your face. But if you have two, it kind of balances it out, and that might help with the glare too.
Yeah. So in my office, like I kind of have windows. I mean, you know what my office looks like, but they don't. I have windows that are kind of off to the side that do create a lot of light. But what I've done with my desk lamp, which I love, is I've actually, because there's a white wall directly in front of me. So I just actually shine the lamp on the wall, and I feel like that's better lighting than even having the lamp facing me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it kind of depends on the lamp. Like this lamp has built-in diffusion, so it's not a direct bulb in your
Ah,
face. So
okay.
it kind of dampens it and softens the light a little bit. But if it is just a direct bulb, then yeah, it's a good idea to bounce it. If you have a wall or something, you can kind of bounce it off, or even your desk, bounce it down or kind of point it up so it's not direct light on your face.
Yeah.
But a lot of the LEDs actually have a little bit of diffusion because otherwise, you know, they're just way too harsh. You'll get these really rough shadows on your face.
Yeah. So do you recommend LED as the best type of light for that?
I mean, honestly, anything will help if you're in like a really dark environment. It doesn't have to be LED. It can just be a standard desk lamp that you can kind
Yeah.
of, you know, adjust to light your face better. But the LEDs are brighter. And when you buy when you buy like a video lamp, you can also buy ring lights that are specifically designed for shooting video at your desk.
Yeah.
We have some links. I think we gave away some of those in our last gear giveaway, but those can be really good for your desk because they also come in. They also have the built-in diffusion. I have one here. This one's more designed for DSLR, so it's huge. But they have smaller versions of this that you can just kind of set on your desk. And you see this one has diffusion around it to kind of soften the LED lights. So if you buy an LED light, I imagine it'll come with some kind of plastic or diffusion
Yeah.
so that it's not like just this harsh light on your face.
Yeah. How much are ring lights? How much would someone expect to spend on a ring light versus like just what an LED?
I think the one we're giving away in December was like $35 on Amazon.
Okay.
And it was a decent one. I mean, it wasn't super bright, but like, you know, you don't need it to be super bright. It had some diffusion. It also had an adjustment where you could dim it down more if you wanted to. You could also adjust the color temperature, which is a nice feature that a lot of the desk ring lights have. So if you have a window, you can actually adjust the ring light to the same color temperature as the natural light. So you don't get this mixed color on your face, which can be kind of ugly. If it's really extreme, you get like the kind of the more blue tint from the natural light and the yellow tint from the indoor light. So these LEDs allow you to adjust it so that it matches. And then another thing your webcam will do, most of them do, is they'll auto adjust the color temperature. So, you know, if you have a really strong yellow light on your face, it'll adjust it so that your skin tone looks more natural.
Nice.
So as long as you have all of your light is the same color temperature, your webcam will do the rest to make it look good.
Yeah, awesome. Now, I did see a question in chat that I just want to throw your way because we know that Logitechs have been out of stock on Amazon. Someone said, like, what would you recommend? Like, what do you think of some of the off-brand ones that look like the Logitech on Amazon? Have you tried any of those? What's your experience?
I haven't. Yeah, there's a lot of knockoffs. You know, there's you can find knockoffs that look like a Logitech, but they're, have a terrible sensor and don't do a great job. I know Microsoft makes pretty good webcams. If you search for Microsoft webcams, I would say they're pretty close to Logitech in terms of the quality.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different, obviously there's like dozens of different webcam companies that do a good job, but I would say Logitech and Microsoft are the top two.
Yeah.
So if you can't get a hold of a Logitech, see if you can get a Microsoft webcam.
Yeah. And
By the way, Alexa, I think is giving away, we're going to be giving away a Logitech C920, which is hard to find right now, but apparently Alexa was able to get a hold of one. So we're going to be giving one of those away, I think on the May 20th webinar.
The 20th webinar, yeah. So our next webinar, for those of you that are hanging out, we have another one on the 20th where we're going to be talking about some mobile gear, as well as talking about our brand new mobile app, because we did just launch our mobile app got a makeover. So we are going to talk about that as well. And we are going to give away a Logitech C920 for someone that registers for that webinar. So Alexa threw the link in there so that you can register for it, and that'll enter you in the drawing for that webcam. The other thing that I would say on webcams is you know, we have seen it. You've all heard about it, the massive uptick in video usage over these last couple months. So like Zoom conferencing, Zoom went from a company to now an actual verb. I've got to Zoom with someone. So I would say to those of you that haven't been able to find a webcam, I would say the demand is really high right now and it's going to slow down. And again, you can still record your videos and make great quality videos even without buying that webcam. Okay, so Matt, we talked about webcams. We talked about some lighting options there. Let's talk about audio.
Yeah, so I have a few different mics here. Right now I'm using this Rode mic, which is one of the better USB mics available. I mean, yeah, I think it's like $170. It's a great microphone. It's great for, you know, Zoom meetings, BombBomb videos, live streaming. It's a great all-around computer microphone, and it's USB. So if you just search like USB Rode mic, this should be the one that comes up. I think this one's also out of stock at the moment. I tried to look it up on Amazon and I couldn't find it on there. But if you look up Rode, RODE, you can find it on their website. I think it's out of stock on their website too. But this is a great microphone. Here, let me see if I can show you. It has some dials on the side, so you can plug in your headphones. So I have some headphones here, and I can monitor my audio by adjusting this dial. So I can turn it to one side. I can listen to the audio I'm hearing now is only from the microphone. On the other side, you have the computer audio where you can hear the audio coming from your computer. Usually I keep it in the middle where you get a balance of both. And then here you can adjust the audio level, which is nice. You know, it allows you to keep tabs on what your audio sounds like and also the audio coming from your computer. So that's a nice feature of the USB Rode mic. Also here, and I'll switch over on Zoom. This is the Samson Meteor, and I'll switch over to so you can hear how it sounds.
So you were using the Rode.
All right, here we go. So also a really great microphone. Honestly, I think this one's only $60. So like, you know, a third the price of the Rode. I think it sounds almost just as good. So I think it's a great deal. Also, it's a little bit smaller and a little bit more portable. You can actually fold it up like this. So you can travel with it, you throw it in your bag, and then you can kind of pull it out. So it's great if you're like traveling and you want a little bit better audio quality than what your built-in microphone provides. So yeah, highly recommend the Rode USB mic as well as the Samson Meteor. I think we have links for both of those, and I think the Samson is in stock. And then honestly, so here, I'll switch over to the built-in microphone so you can hear the quality difference.
So you started with the Rode mic and then you switched sound to the second mic.
I can't hear you, Alicia.
I think you may have changed your audio.
Oh, here, let me see if I can. Oh.
We can hear you. All right, cool.
So yeah, did you actually, here, let me try. This is the Samson. Can you hear it? Did you hear any quality difference? All right, so now I'm going to switch to the built-in microphone here. All right, so now I'm working with the built-in microphone. Do you hear the quality difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's worth investing. For $60. It could be worth it, especially if you're doing video all day, every day. It's a nice quality improvement with the Samson. Here, I just switched back to it. But if you don't have, if you don't have any of those microphones and you just need something really quick, most of us have a pair of these lying around. These are the the Apple earbuds.
Yeah.
They actually have a built-in microphone too, right here. So this can be a huge improvement as well. So here, I'll go back to the built-in microphone. Sometimes on like a Zoom meeting, you'll get echo if you're using your built-in microphone. So if you're having problems with that, just if you have a pair of these sitting around, grab them, plug them in, and you should be able to, that it should eliminate the echo because the microphone is right next to your mouth, and the audio is going straight into your headset. So you don't have that, you know, that's what creates the echo, is the external microphone with the external audio can create some problems. And then there's also the, your AirPods, also a great option.
Yeah. We are getting a few questions about what the actual model for the Samsung was.
It's the Samsung Meteor. It's Meteor.
Okay. Like Meteor.
Yeah, and it's not Samsung, it's Samsung. Samson.
SAM. There we go. Samsung Meteor.
Yep,
there we go, guys. Nice. All right.
Yeah. And that one should be available. Honestly, I think that's a great option, especially, let me make sure sometimes the Bluetooth throws off the, okay, it looks good. Back to the Samson. I think the Samson's a great option because it's portable. I think it provides really good audio options. It's easy to use. And honestly, I think the audio quality is up there with the Rode mic.
Yeah, awesome. Any suggestions before we take on questions? And I see a ton of questions. So any suggestions about location for some of this equipment? Because I'm seeing lots of that. Like, obviously your camera, you want it to be, central on your computer. These Logitech ones just clip right on top. But let's talk about as far as like where those mics should be positioned. I know we talked some about lighting position, but what about the mics? Where should you place that mic?
I mean, the closer to your face, the better, because it's going to pick up better audio. So like the Samson here, I have it pretty much right in front of my MacBook. So yeah, I have my MacBook on a stand here, Logitech on top here. And then the Samsung is right in front. And that's part of the reason it can get better audio, is because usually the built-in microphones are a little further back on your MacBook. Whereas, if you have an external microphone, you can prop it up pretty close to your face, as close to as far on the desk as possible, bringing it forward to your face. Yeah,
cool. All right, so I'm going to jump into some of these questions because we have a ton of questions. For those of you that are hanging out, or if you have to run or whatever, we have recorded this. So you will get a recording of the webinar if you want to review some of that gear stuff. We're going to jump in and answer some of the questions, and then we are going to close out the webinar talking a little bit about working through some of the fear, because that is still one of the most common things we hear. So if you are hanging out and you're in the chat and you are one of those people that still is having some hesitation and uncomfortability when doing your videos, throw your hand up or say I or me in the chat, and we will definitely address that. So, this is a great question for you, Matt. Denise wants to know, is it better to have your phone horizontal or vertical when recording videos?
I think for video email, definitely horizontal, because that makes it a little more compatible. If someone's opening it up on their desktop computer, it'll fill the screen a little bit more. I would say for social media, I think vertical is more popular because most people are looking at it on their phone. So, when they watch full screen on their phone, it'll fill the screen. Like for BombBomb videos though, I think horizontal is the way to go, because it works both ways. When you're in your inbox app, you open it up and I think it'll fill the screen a little bit better than the vertical. So social, I'd go vertical. Video email, I'd go horizontal.
Yep. Even if they're watching that video email on their phone, they're not going to have a problem viewing it horizontal. What the thing that can be difficult is if you do shoot it vertical And when they open it up in the email, sometimes that vertical video actually takes up more of the screen, and they would have to actually scroll to see the whole video. So you certainly don't want to do that. Let's see here. So someone asked a question about teleprompters, and I'll go ahead and answer this one. I've been a paid actor since I was 12 years old. People take classes on actually reading from a teleprompter. Reading from a teleprompter and making it look natural is actually a well-developed skill. So what I want to encourage you to do is, the best thing that you can do with your BombBomb videos is to be natural. If you are trying to read from a teleprompter or a script, it is going to feel more mechanical. It's not going to feel natural and human. However, you can bullet point things. I do this all the time. I will bullet point on a sticky note and put it on my computer. Or you can even reference your notes. It's okay to reference your notes. One of the best things you could do if you are going over a longer piece of content and you want to make sure you hit those points is just show that you have notes with you. It's okay. Here's the thing, guys. You are not trying to be a professional news anchor or host the Oscars, right? You're using video to communicate and connect and to get face-to-face with more people more often. I don't think anyone expects you to be perfectly polished and not have to reference notes. So it's okay to reference notes. But that's a great question about teleprompters. The question was, to read content without looking too obvious. It's going to look obvious if you're reading. It just is. Let's see. Oh, okay. So someone wanted to know about backgrounds for videos. They want to know, are blank walls best, or do you like to see a personal touch in that background?
I mean, I think as long as there's not like a mess behind you, a lot of clutter, I think you're fine. I prefer cleaner backgrounds where there's nothing distracting behind you. But I think having things that kind of provide a personal touch, like a family photo, or some art on the wall can add a little bit of personality to the background.
Yeah.
I think as long as it's clean and it doesn't look like a disaster back there, you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say you want to pay attention to your background, but you don't need to overthink it, especially where most of us are still at home right now. I've had this question come up on other webinars over these last 2 months since we've been physically distanced, is people feeling a little bit insecure about shooting in their home. But this actually right now, the solidarity aspect is kind of a benefit because everyone is in the same situation. I saw an article the Associated Press put out a few weeks ago, and they were talking about how we're seeing celebrities in their homes stripped down, unfiltered, and I mean stripped down like without lighting and hair and makeup and producers and all of that. We're seeing them in this more natural way in their homes than we ever have. And the whole point of the article was that these celebrities are actually increasing their like public goodwill or their status. And what the article said was because people feel more connected to them, right? When Jimmy Fallon is shooting from in his house and you see his house and you hear his girls in the background, he's trying to read jokes and one of his girls is climbing all over his head, right? These kinds of things actually endear people to you. The solidarity aspect is okay. So I would encourage you to not try and use like a Zoom background, a green screen background or anything like that, because the more human it is, the more authentic, the more connected people feel to it, it's going to benefit you. All right, let's see what I've got in here. Someone wanted to know why you wouldn't just use the built-in microphone in the C920.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I meant to bring that up. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's probably similar quality to your built-in microphone. I think the only advantage is that it records stereo, which I don't know how much that matters for, you know, if you're sending a BombBomb video or you're in a Zoom meeting. But here, I can switch to it now, actually, and you can hear the sound quality. All right, so I just switched to the C920. I can't hear the difference, but does it sound all right?
Oh, the sound quality is dramatically different.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's a little bit further away versus the Samsung's right in front of me here. So sometimes just a few feet of distance can create, you know, reduced audio quality, especially if there's like, you know, there's noise in the room. The closer the mic is, the better. But I imagine it's better than your built-in MacBook microphone or whatever your built-in mic.
And I will tell you guys, I am using the built-in mic from the C920. That's what I'm using right now because
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, when we had packed up all our stuff to start working remotely, I didn't bring an external mic with me. And I've done, I think this is like my 28th webinar from home using my C920, and I haven't had anyone complain, and I haven't had anyone complain about the audio on my videos. So again, you know, these tools are here, you know, the external mics and the lighting and all. We want to give you options to up your video game and enhance it a little bit, but it isn't necessary.
Yeah.
Someone had a question about plugging a Rode shotgun mic to an iPhone. They said, any suggestions on how to attach a Rode shotgun to an iPhone?
Yes, I think here, 1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to keep scrolling through these questions and see anything else. Ooh, that's a good one there. So Pamela wanted to know about the stand you put on your desk, approximate height. So in my office, normally I have a standing desk that I can put up and down. While I'm here at home, I literally have two bins, a cloth bin that came from Target, and then like a plastic thinner bin that one of my kids had toys in that I just have my laptop sitting on top of. I'll show you guys my little setup here real quick. Like, there is nothing fancy about what I have going here. I literally just grabbed things that could get my computer to a height where I felt comfortable. But you do want to have that camera at around eye level. Nothing is a little, I find it really frustrating when someone sends me videos when they're looking way down at the camera. So you just want to have it right at eye level there. Okay, Rode shotgun.
Yeah, I have two Rode shotgun mics that I use with my DSLRs, but I know you can use them with your phones pretty well too. You know, with your iPhone, you can plug them in. But I've never tried it with the MacBook. I'm sure you could. It could sound better if you can kind of prop it up right in front of you. I imagine that using a Rode shotgun mic could be better, you know, at least better than your built-in microphone.
Yeah. Trying to see what else we have here. Someone wanted to know if it's better to be close to the camera or a bit further away. We always recommend, you want kind of like a nice framing where they can see all of your head, they can see shoulders. Hands are a really valuable piece of our communication. In fact, it tells a lot about your body language. People actually are more likely to trust you if they can see your hands. So it's nice to be further enough back that you have some of that body motion. You know, rules of thirds from my movie days, but having like a third above your head there, would you recommend that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think long as it's not like an extreme close-up, like this might be a little creepy. As long as it's like shoulders to the top of your head, I think that's kind of ideal for sending videos or for Zoom meetings. The only thing, if you're backed up too far and you're just using your built-in microphone, you might lose a little bit of audio quality if you're stepping back too far from your computer. But, you know, otherwise I think, like, you know, what we're doing now is kind of the standard shoulders to the top of the head is
Yeah.
kind of is a good framing.
Just trying to scroll through these gear ones here. Oh, so the question came up again, but how do you attach it to the iPhone, the Rode Shotgun? Do you do that through a dongle?
You need the dongle. So you need the adapter that connects from the, you know, the iPhone charger port to the to your auxiliary cable, and then you can just plug into the microphone. But like if you're just using your MacBook, I think you should be able to plug it in directly. The thing with that, you might need like a USB output for your speakers, because the way it works for most computers is that the auxiliary input and output are the same port. So if you're using that exclusively for a microphone, you'll need some kind of USB output for your speakers so that you have that too. Or if you're using something like this, then you can use a headset. You could use like a USB to auxiliary cable output, so you can wear headphones or something.
Yeah.
It gets a little more complicated, but there's ways you can do that.
This is a question that's not about gear that I do want to address. Someone said they noticed the new CTA toggle when I have completed a video. What is this toggle? So for those of you that haven't noticed this yet, you have the ability to add a call to action that lives on your video. So when you are recording your videos, right now it's inside of the web platform, not Gmail, correct? Can someone in chat does anyone knows, Alexa or Michelle, if you want to verify me on that? I'm pretty sure it's just when you are recording from inside the web platform or the Chrome extension. You have an option where it has just a little toggle switch, and you can turn on that CTA, and then it'll give you an option to label what you want that call to action to say, as well as the link you want it to link out to. And it just lives on that video permanently. So whether it's a link off to your website, whether it's a link to your calendar, or whatever it is, you have the ability to put a custom call to action on the end of every video there. So that's a new feature. Let us know if you like. Okay, they're live in web app, Chrome extension, and in Gmail. All right. Thank you, Michelle, for correcting me on that. So the only place where they would not be live then there is actually your mobile app currently. So, and for those of you that came in late, we are doing a webinar on the 20th that's all going to be focused on mobile. We're going to talk about some mobile gear, which is why we didn't really get into a ton of mobile gear today. And then we're also going to talk about the makeover and the functionality in the new app. All right, I'm just going to scroll through here and see if there's anything else. Let's see. Someone wanted to know if we had any plans to add a green screen or virtual background feature in the future. You know, we've been hearing a lot of this lately. I don't know that it's actually on our development roadmap yet, but we are listening. We hear you guys. Okay, last gear question, and then I'm just going to jump over and talk for a few minutes about working through that fear and getting more comfortable on video. But someone did want to know what's a good clip-on mic or lav mic if for like moving around or like writing on a board. Any suggestions for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, that's another great option. And that's similar to what the, where'd they go? What the earbuds do is basically, it's that kind of like clip-on where you have a microphone right next to your mouth here. And that's definitely improved quality. Yeah, and they're super affordable too. You can go on Amazon and, you know, type in clip-on lav mic, and there's all sorts of great options. But that's the same idea as the earbuds, where it's like you have something that you have, you know, a microphone right
Yeah.
below your mouth. And it's definitely, you know, usually if it's a different, if it's a decent microphone, it'll be better quality than your built-in computer microphone.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for answering that. All right, I'm going to share my screen and go to my deck just for a minute here, just to kind of talk about this, because we know that this is something that keeps people from doing video, and doing video at the level they want. It's just this uncomfortability, and it's not always that I don't like what I look like. It's not always the, you know, I don't like the way I sound. Or I saw someone in chat say that a lot of their people in their organization were having frustrations with the glasses glare, and that was keeping them from doing video. So we're just going to talk about this because this is something that's really common. And I just want to encourage you guys, the first piece on this is that this is really, really normal, okay? You are not alone. Almost anyone that you have seen doing video at any level has had to work through this at some point. And I just am throwing up some quotes here for you from people that you have seen on the big screen and in movie theaters talking about their own uncomfortability here. Megan Fox says that she never looks at herself, that she panics if there's a monitor in the room. Reese Witherspoon, I don't know who feels good looking at themselves. Nobody, right? And I love what Javier Bardem says at the end. He says that he can't even watch himself, but he says, when I'm doing it, I don't see my nose or hear my voice. It's like there's something stronger, bigger than that, and I need to express it. So I just want to encourage you guys on the first piece here that this is really, really normal. You are not some weirdo who can't get out of their own head. So it's okay to feel uncomfortable. Everyone is there with it. We're not used to experiencing the world from outside of our head. And even, you know, we're doing a lot of Zoom now. I think people are on Zoom a lot more often than they ever were before. And that is helping. But on Zoom, you are still experiencing yourself in real time. It's not the same as when you record a video and watch it back. And we'll talk more about this, but you know, I always encourage you not to watch your videos back. The second thing that I just want to remind you guys about with this is that the value that you bring to your clients and your community and the world, whatever your job is, the value that you are bringing is in your humanity, right? No matter what industry you are in, video is giving you an opportunity to connect with people, and that is what matters. The value that you have to bring is in who you are as a human being, and all of those other things in your head that are telling you that you can't do video until you can finally get your hair cut, or you don't like the crow's feet around your eyes, or I just don't like the way my voice sounds on camera. I even saw someone mention in the chat that they sometimes hear a lisp that they pick up when they're watching their videos. I have never in my entire life had anyone tell me that I have a lisp. And sometimes when I watch my videos back, I can hear that. So, but that's not what's important, okay? The important thing is that you have value to bring. You have value to bring to your clients and to your community and to your organization. And I don't want you to miss out on bringing that value because you couldn't get through this obstacle. Oprah Winfrey, her net worth is, that I found here, was about $3 billion. Oprah has never felt completely comfortable on camera. In fact, when she first was offered the Oprah Winfrey show back in the 80s, she very publicly has talked about the struggles that she's had with her weight and her appearance. But here's the deal. If Oprah was not willing to work through that and show up and get on camera anyway, even though she didn't feel 100% confident about that, the world wouldn't have Oprah and she wouldn't have $3 billion. So I'm telling you, your value is more than those external things that you are struggling with. I see this here. I'm 74, but when I look at the videos, I simply see a 24-year-old. I love that. That makes me so happy. The third thing on here that I just want to remind you of is that we are all our own worst critics. I'm telling you, the things that you focus on, no one else is noticing. seriously, we tear ourselves apart in a way that no one else would. I will tell my quick personal story here on this one, and I've told it before, but when we did Rehumanize a year ago, we were filming all of these interviews, and Matt was filming the interviews. He was our incredible videographer. And after we finished shooting the very first one, the first interview with one of our speakers, Matt wanted to check the footage just to make sure the lighting was good and the sound was good. And so I jumped up from my interview seat and went over to the monitor to watch it back. Guess what? I am a normal sized human who has given birth to 3 children, and I don't look like I work out every day because I don't. And I'm really comfortable in my own skin. But when I saw myself on the video, the first thing I noticed was my body not looking how I wanted it to, right? This is something we all struggle with. I literally get on camera and get on stage for a living. It's what they pay me to do. And I still have these moments of hesitation. But you know what the deal is? The deal isn't that you are never, ever going to question yourself or that you're never going to criticize yourself. It's what you do with it in that moment. And in that moment, I chose to not keep watching the footage because I didn't want that to be in my head. I wanted to focus on interviewing, and it's the same thing. It's why I recommend don't watch your videos back, because that's not what I want you to be focused on. I don't want you to watch a video back and get that negative self-talk going and then re-record it. And then now that's what's in your head is that negative self-talk. So we're all our worst critics. We've all been there. So here are your 3 R's for getting through it, okay? Because you can't get over it. This is a normal human problem that we've all experienced. So the first one is remind yourself. If you've been in sales, the whole pump yourself up before the sales call, it's the same thing. Remind yourself of why you're doing this. Remind yourself of the value that you have to bring. Remind yourself of how much you love serving your customers or your clients and what they're going to miss out on if they don't feel as connected to you. Remind yourself like Jessica does.
Look, I can be a shark.
Yourself up.
Now my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my moms. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah.
I can do anything good, right? Remind yourself before you press that record button who you are and the value that you have to bring, okay? Your second R is rewatch it, don't. All right? Over and over and over again, I will encourage you guys, do not watch your videos back. There is not a benefit that comes from you watching them back. I have probably 8,000 one-to-one videos in my BombBomb account. I very, very rarely watch them back. The only time that I really watch my videos back is if I am recording a piece of marketing content or inviting you guys to come to a webinar, and I want to make sure that I delivered what I wanted to say concisely. Other than that, the only thing that happens when you watch them back is you want to re-record it, and then you want to re-record it again, and you want to re-record it. If you need to re-record a video because you messed up, that's fine. Just re-record it. You don't need to go back and watch it and create opportunities for that negative self-talk. And then the last one is repetition. Repetition, repetition. The more you do this, the easier it gets. We've done surveys of some of our clients that were in a more intense, training, video training program. And we asked them, how many times did it take of you recording and sending? Because that's the key. It's the recording and sending, not recording a bunch of test videos that you keep in your account that you don't send because you feel too scared. How many times did it take to record a video and send it off where you stopped caring? And the average answer is 5. So repetition, the more you do it, the easier it gets. You're going to feel more comfortable. So remind yourself, of the value that you have to bring, do not watch your videos back and just do it. So this is what I'm going to leave you guys with to help you get those 5 videos out the door, okay? We are going to issue you guys a gratitude challenge. Gratitude is one of my favorite things. We're low on time, so I'm not going to tell you about all of the science behind what gratitude will do both for your brain, your body, and your business, but as well as it does for the people that receive those gratitude messages. So this is what we're going to do. I want you to think of the names of 3 people that you can say thank you to today. That's it. It does not matter whether it is your kid's teacher that's doing a great job sending things to keep them busy, if it's a colleague, if it's your boss, if it's a friend. It does not matter who it is. The goal of this challenge is not to give you something that is going to boom your business. The goal of this challenge
Did we lose Alicia?
Oh,
No, you're good. You're good. You're back.
okay. Whew. So think of the names of the 3 people that you can say thank you today. Send them a thank you video today. And then you just get to sit back and enjoy the endorphins from having a positive impact on someone else's day. You're going to get a great response from it. They're going to appreciate it. And it's a win for everyone. So guys, we are just a couple minutes from the top of the hour. We are so grateful that you joined us today. As a reminder, our next webinar is on May 20th. We're going to talk about mobile videos, both some mobile gear and how to make sure your mobile videos look great, as well as talking about the makeover that our new mobile app got and get you really familiar with that. So Matt, thank you. Thank you for your expertise. We really appreciate you.
Sure thing. Yeah. Thanks for having me here.
Anytime. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you. I believe in you. I know that if you simply just start sending out some of those videos, if you get past some of that fear and uncomfortability, it's going to get easier. So go record those gratitude videos and have an awesome day. We'll see you guys on the next one.